I've had a few requests on how I do my hair because I do a very 90s inspired hairstyle, like a very big Topanga from Boy Meets World blowout. I was asked twice, which is basically enough for me to make an entire video on it. So today, as I am getting ready for work, I'm gonna show you how I do my hair. So I use hot rollers. I've been using hot rollers for years now because I find that they just add a lot of volume and they make your hair so soft and touchable. And I actually love touching my hair, which is very apparent in a lot of my videos. So let's dive into how I do my hot rollers, how I get my big blowout hair every single day. Starting off, so prep, night before. So I shower at night. I wash my hair every single night. I'm one of those weirdos that needs to wash their hair every single day. Shampoo and conditioner, I use a hair loss shampoo and a hair loss. And then I use a regular super cheap conditioner because I don't think it really matters if that's some designer thing. And then after my hair has been drying and after about an hour before I go to sleep, I throw Rogaine in it. I feel like we don't really talk about female hair loss that much. I feel like we talk about men's hair loss a lot because it's a lot more common, I feel like, but women's hair loss, super common. I did a whole video once on how I was losing my hair here and I addressed that with a few different products, but I'm now losing it on my crown. It's kind of embarrassing for me, so I've been using Rogaine. And actually right now I'm going through the dread shed period. So this is like, my hair is falling out. It's stressing me out. We'll talk about another video. I'm gonna do an update video. If you guys wanna see an update video, please comment down below. I will make it. Next is mousse. Okay, so this mousse it's IGK's Big Time Mousse. It is the stickiest mousse of all time. It really is. It just really tacks onto your hair, but I love it. If you overdo it, you're going to have that kind of early 2000s over moussed hair, and it's not super flattering. But if you use a little bit of it, you can make a really gorgeous hairstyle. It really just holds onto a curl, and I have really Asian hair that's really fine, so it doesn't really hold curls really well, but this definitely helps. I do those the night before, and then I braid my hair and then I sleep in it. So this is like freshly taken out braids, which I actually kind of like it today, but I feel like it's always kind of a crapshoot and if I'm gonna like it or not. But today we are going to do the curlers. So another IGK program. This is very much not sponsored by them. I've been using their 4-in-1 prep spray. They have an aerosol one. I don't really like the smell of the aerosol one. However, it's a detangler with a frizz control and like high shine and like heat protection. So I throw that all over my hair. I arguably put a little too much, but I'd rather have heat protection than not. This is like how I apply sunscreen. Just all of it, all of the time. And then once that's in, I brush my hair. So I like to brush my hair from the bottom to the top. I like to hold on and then I like to brush once it's like fully in there. And my hair almost looks kind of damp right now because I put so much product in it. This actually, I would say, dries really quickly. We have all of it in our hair. It's gonna be big, it's gonna be beautiful. Okay, so even right now with the mousse that I have in my hair from the night before, there's still like a really good chunk of volume in there. But I really wanna step that game up. So let's get some hot rollers in our hair. Now, my hot rollers were sitting plugged in for about 10 minutes. These are my hot rollers. I have been using these for several years, and you might notice that it looks kind of like the case looks like kind of caked in product and stuff, and it's not very pretty. That's because I use this obsessively. My hair goes as such, where I essentially cut it in half here, just for a visual, as like a pre-visual. I cut it in half here, and up here, I roll backwards, and then here, I roll in. And I do it in layers because I find that it just gives you like a lot more volume. So I'm now gonna break it up into sections and show you exactly how I get it done. Taking my brush, I am taking this part of my head, so the crown of my head, and I'm brushing it. So I like to brush it because I feel like I like a really polished hair look, even though I do like a big hair. And I am just going to roll that back. So the key with this is that you want to keep it tight, but not so tight that it's going to be tugging at your hair strands. Like if it's uncomfortable, stop. Because you don't want to have any form of traction alopecia. You don't want, like, I don't know if you guys ever seen like ballerinas online talking about their hair loss. Oh, they take the front part and then I curl it back. But because they have such tight buns and everything, you are kind of at risk for pulling some of your hair out and damaging your hair follicles, and that is literally the exact opposite what I'm trying to accomplish. So when you are pinning these in, make sure you're not pulling tight and then curling tight. Just be really gentle with it. Kind of think of it like putting your dog in a harness. Like you wouldn't want to be like cruel to them. You'd want to be like, okay, this is a very delicate system. You want to be really mindful and careful that you're not hurting anyone or anything. Okay. I look kind of like I have a mohawk right now. So right under that one, because there are 4 larger ones and smaller ones, I like to have the larger ones on top. I feel like if I did all smaller ones, my hair would be a little too curly for me. I'm also not a beauty content creator that often. I like talking about the beauty products that I like because I like really highly functional things that work kind of beauty. And this is something that I feel like is a good example of that. And the goal is not that it'll sit perfectly on your head. The goal is that it will just get all of your hair in. If you miss a piece, it's gonna look kind of weird. My favorite thing about these though, as like you can see that I have kind of curly hair or kind of wavy hair, is that it will kind of fall into place. So it'll have that very blowout look. And I do like to brush the strands just because if there's any leftover product or just to make sure everything is evenly added. Something that I do find annoying about hot rollers is that they don't actually give you anything to hold the clips in because you can't have it onto the hot rollers in the thing. So I keep mine in a Ziploc bag that I've been using since I got it, so 3 or 4 years. So now that I have the bigger rolls, the bigger pieces up, so I have rolled back on the big pieces on the top of my head, I'm now gonna roll in. So if you were to roll out your entire hair, if you were to roll it back and like twist it similar to the way that these are twisted sideways instead of twisting back, you would have a very Farrah Fawcett look. I want the 90s blowout without the 90s eyebrow or metallic eyeshadow. I normally do this way faster because I'm not explaining myself and I'm not thinking out every step I'm doing. So I feel like with like regular Velcro rollers, you have to like take it out a certain way. But because this is heat, not really a huge problem. But also because it's heat, it's riskier to damage your hair. Okay, so now all of them are in. I feel like some of them have already fallen, which is fine. The key is to feel like you have it all in. If you grab a bunch of your hair and try to throw it into one, it's gonna be really heavy and pull at your hair, which is gonna be uncomfortable, and I'm not looking for a 6 a.m. headache. So now that all of this is in, I'm going to go, normally at this time I would do my makeup, but I did a little bit before I got on camera. So now I am gonna go respond to a few emails, but I'm gonna hold this in for 10 minutes. Normally 10 minutes, sometimes if I'm like in a rush or if I'm like too busy feeding my dogs or cleaning a little bit before I go out, I will keep this in for like 30. But I find that 10 to 15 minutes is normally a sweet spot. I'm doing this in between meetings, so I'm gonna do it in 10 minutes and I'll see you then. Okay, it has been 10 minutes and now I'm going to take everything out. So I tend to like to just do the bottom up. So basically all the pieces that are at the bottom, I like to get those first. The reason I like to do the top pieces first is 1, it's easier for me to do top to bottom, and 2, because I want the most amount of volume at my roots, especially as I'm going through the dread shed period of Rogaine and pulling that out. Now you can already see that I got some volume. So I'm gonna add in some texture spray. So I like to pull up, and as my hair is falling down, I like to add texture spray so it gets, so just getting the top or like the underside, you're getting all of the pieces as they're falling down. So. I'm just going to brush my hair a little bit just so it looks a little bit cleaner. So as the day goes on, I find that my hair does kind of like settle, it gets less big. Then I just take the pieces, just curl it back, just hand flip it back. So you have a few odds and ends, and I don't really like when those are dry, so I'm gonna add some moisture and shine cream just to make sure it doesn't look like too frizzy and bad. Also, only now am I realizing the amount of hair products that I've used in this tutorial. I feel like you never really know until you show someone else. So this one, Amica, I actually got this a while ago from a gala that I went to. I went to breast cancer awareness / hair treatment gala in San Francisco, and they sponsored it. And this was very much a non-influencer event. This was very much like oncology professional researchers getting together, and then they gave these gorgeous hair care packages, which is probably how I fell in love with like most of the products that I have. And that is how I get my 90s blowout. A lot of times, the reason why I don't like using like the blow dry or anything, because it's just having to sit there and like hold it in your hair. I feel like that doesn't really make sense for a lot of women who have stuff to do. I have a dog that I have to take care of on top of a full-time job, on top of this channel. So that's my hair tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.